I remember telling her, like, there's going to be a lot of speculation. I literally can get on the internet and find out who I'm dating anytime I want. They'll tell me.
Riley, it's good to see you again. How are you?
Good, man. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has. Although I think it was British summertime when you were over.
Yeah, the Hyde Park show.
Yeah, and I wanted to check, was that your first time in the UK?
It was my first time over here. We kind of skipped a few steps.
I was going to say, I mean, if you got, don't bother with the other gigs and the, building it up. You just went straight in front of 60,000 or something,
Well, it's crazy because coming to a completely different country, you don't ever know what to expect. But then you get there and you see that crowd, and I was thinking, well, nobody's gonna know who I am, so it'll be a nice opportunity to get some new fans. And they knew every word to everything. It was, it's so cool to see how popular it's gotten over here. And as cool as that show was, it's great to be able to come back and headline my own shows now. We got 3 sold-out nights in London. It's a really cool thing.
Well, I was going to say, I want to congratulate you on a number of things. So first of all, with the sold-out shows, but also the fact that, yes, when you're part of a massive day and night-long event like the Hyde Park was, you're just part of it, right? You're just relatively just a piece of it. Whereas this is your thing this time. It must feel great.
Yeah, man. We did a stadium tour with Luke Combs in the States a couple of years ago, and that was, again, such a great opportunity to get in front of a lot of new fans, and I think I underestimated how many people would know my stuff there, and it was kind of the same thing here. And I think it's just because I think fans really want to know the guy nobody knows about. They want to be on the discovery side of the music, and so I see it all the time at my shows. And this week, even they're requesting songs that are a little bit of B-side tracks, and they want you to know that they know the ones that they're not supposed to.
It's funny you should dip into that, because I've often seen on the forums online the fans, and they can get a little possessive. Oh well, I knew Riley when it was like 6 years ago. You've only just jumped on board, that kind of way. So it's but it's really fun. Oh, and congratulations as well. I'm assuming but we've just found out that you're #1 in the UK country radio airplay charts this week with Change My Mind.
I appreciate it, man. Y'all got a lot to do with that, I know. So I appreciate y'all.
Well, what a time for you to just swing in here as well.
Hey, listen, I'll come talk to you in the studio anytime we got a #1 song. Just call me.
Well, that's brilliant, and I'm delighted for you. So it's all working so well, isn't it, at the moment?
It is, man. And Change My Mind's one of those songs that has not been a single in the United States yet, but it's a huge song for me. And there's been so many songs off this record that have kind of raised their hand on their own. Worst Way was one of them. It's a huge song for me before it ever went to radio, and then seeing it go to radio and go #1 and became this giant hit. Don't Mind If I Do is another one. It's just kind of jumped off the page. And Change My Mind is the same thing. It's one that they sing it louder and louder every night, especially here.
And that must be very gratifying for you, and it's a good sign as well ahead, like you say, of it not being released in the US yet. And I mean, look, if it's a hit here, that's pretty promising, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how that'll work. I'll start calling some radio PDs and tell them, like, hey, it's #1 over there. Y'all need to catch up. But
yeah, actually, we're leading the way this time
that's
round.
Right.
So
hey, I love to see it, man.
We're not playing catch up. Oh, by the way, the deluxe version of Don't Mind If I Do. I've been checking out some of the songs on that. I wanted to ask you, Randy Houser is involved with that, and he just comes across strong on the song. So how did that come about?
Randy's so great. He's one of my favorite voices in country, and just become a really great friend of mine. And all of the duets and features that I've done have all been kind of organic. Just friends of mine or somebody I'm a fan of, and kind of talking through songs. And that's certainly how You Love Me happened, and Don't Mind If I Do happened with Ella. And Randy's the same thing. We were sitting around at the beach down in Orange Beach, Alabama, and looking at the ocean. I was playing him some songs. I said, man, I got this song I wrote that I think you might like a lot. And like I said, I love Randy's voice. He did such an awesome job on it. It turned out great.
But isn't that, I mean, you've just set a whole picture for us there. You're sitting at the beach, you're probably having a beer, you're there with you. What a way to, get an idea for a song, and then when it ends up like that as well. Yeah,
I think there's a lot of times when you have collaborations that are done what I would call through the proper channels, where a manager calls another manager and it goes through this and that. And I've never done it that way. So it's always got to be something that I want them to love as much as I love it. And like I said, it's got to be somebody that I'm a fan of. And Randy's such a great dude, and like I said, great voice.
Well, looking from the outside in, I've asked other artists this before, because I'm always curious, well, how does he or she end up on that project? And now you say that the more organic way for you is the one that works, and you've had a great run of collaborations as well.
Yeah, we Different Around Here was a song that I cut on my debut album, and went on tour with Luke Combs, and I said, man, you want to be a part of the song? Thinking about putting it to country radio. and it worked out great, you know. And Ella, like I said, she was out on the road with me, and I thought, man, it'd be great if we had a song we could record together. You Like You Love Me happened, and then I wrote Don't Mind If I Do, and I was looking for another female just because me and Ella already had that song. And I called her to come by the studio to get a female vocal on it because I didn't know what key it needed to be in, you know. And she sang and did such an awesome job. I said, well, that's done, you know. And now I've got a song with Hannah McFarlane, who's out on the road with me now and playing these shows in the UK.
Yeah, I mean, well, they just keep coming thick and fast. I got to say as well about the deluxe album, One to Willie really jumped out at me, right? Because, and what a way to almost, you know, mark your life. You know, because the theme of the song, I love that really. You know, on a scale of 1 to Willie, how's your life going at the moment?
Yeah.
So how is your life going at the moment on a scale of 1 to
we
Willie?
got a #1 song in the UK, and
I'd say pretty 10. I'd say 10 out of 10.
yeah, the whole sold out tour over here. It's awesome, man. It's up there pretty close to Willie right now, and how cool to have a song. I mean, it's a great tribute song to him, I think, but also to have him play guitar on it.
Well, yeah, when I heard that initially, I thought, because not everyone gets that, right?
No, but it's such a recognizable Willie guitar solo, too.
No, I meant, though, not everybody gets Willie on this song.
Who does?
Yeah.
I don't. There's not a lot of them, man. And especially now, you know, and he's still out there touring and playing shows. That's pretty amazing to me. I mean, as worn out as I get, and I've only been doing it, you know, 10 years or so. It's wild to think about how long he's been out there and he still loves it that much.
Well, it sounds brilliant, and I'm delighted it's working so well for you. I wanted to ask you as well, because very often an artist will come by, like you did the first time round, and you'll just swing in, you'll do the gig, and you'll go again. But obviously, this is much more. You've got more of a block of time with us this time. Do you ever get a chance to, you know, check out the sites, or you know, go to the bar after or before the show, maybe, or whatever, or do those things, or are you just here for work?
Well, I always say the first time I go somewhere, it's you know, it's a blur. I'm going to meet everybody and shake hands, and obviously we got to come by and hang out with y'all last time we were here.
Yeah.
And y'all have been great to us since then. So obviously, while we can come here and tour and play sold out shows, I was just saying that it's so awesome to be in the same place for a few days, no matter where it is, because that's so rare for us right now. I'm not a big fan of traffic. So when I get in a city, and I like to drive, I don't ride well in a car. So if I can't get in a truck and drive and get somewhere in 10 or 15 minutes, I kind of stay put. So I've been walking everywhere. So I've walked all over you know, within 10 miles of my hotel. And it's, other than a little bit of rain, it's been great. You know,
Yeah.
it's just nice to be somewhere that's got this much history. That's something that stands out to me about London.
Well, this is what a lot of tourists as well don't understand. You know, they'll come along and they'll get on the tube, for example, and they'll go one stop, and they don't realize
You miss everything, yeah.
And you may as well have just walked around the corner
Yeah.
because it's just there. So it's a brilliant city to walk around.
Yeah, well, I got on my phone and was Googling places I was going to go, and it'd tell me it was going to take 25 minutes in a car and it'd take 15 minutes to walk, you know.
So that's why a lot of us love walking around the city.
Yeah,
instead.
no, it's been great.
Can I ask you, now I know this sounds like a strange question because you've just delivered the deluxe album, but I know artists as well, they plan ahead and they look ahead and you're on to the next thing. What might be the next thing for Riley? Are there more collaborations that at least you're eyeing up, or...
I certainly wouldn't shy away from collaborations at this point. It's done so well for me, and you know, again, it's just got to be something that really makes sense. And the word I use is organic, just meaning that it's the timing's right. It's somebody that, you know, maybe I'm on tour with, or somebody that I've, you know, crossed paths with, and musically, and you know, I'm always looking for that thing, but certainly more music coming. You know, I know it seems like we just put some music out, but really, I think maybe every artist is that way. But I'm always itching for the next thing, and I always love the last song that I wrote. You know, that's always my favorite. So we're gonna get some dates in the studio this fall, and try to put a record out in the spring next year.
Well, we're very excited about, you know, just to hear that from you as well. That's really good. So we'll be watching for that and listening for it too when it comes. So that's brilliant. I had a little look online the other day, and I've noticed, now you can tell me, your house is for sale in Nashville?
Yeah.
And you know, with the internet as well, I had a look around it, to be honest.
Really?
I had a good look around, because all the pictures are online. So,
yeah, my realtor asked if they could do some kind of like advertising with the house for sale, and I didn't know what they were talking about. I said, yeah, and then I guess my publicist called me, and she was like worried about it, you know.
All right.
And I said, well, I don't live there anymore. It doesn't matter if anybody knows, you know what I mean, where the house that I used to live in was.
Well, first of all, I want to clear something up. I'm not a stalker, and B, the address isn't there, so that's fine. But just the photos of the house
Yeah, okay.
inside, it's very nice. But I was wondering if you could cut out the estate agent, because I wouldn't mind making an offer to you. Right?
Yeah, well, if you're looking for somewhere in Nashville, you don't need to buy my other house. Just come stay in the extra room of the house I've got now, because I'm never there anyway.
All right.
You pretty much have it to yourself.
Thank you very much. I might just, you don't realize, but I might just take you up on that. Also, I wanted to ask you, now I'm not going to ask you the obvious question here, but when I say the word relationships, okay, I'm not going to, but what I wanted to find out
You could have figured all that out on Google too. Google will tell you everything about my personal life.
We have been following that, but that's an aside. Now, what I wanted to ask you, though, was, you know the way you're associated with certain people and names crop up, and then the fans also go, oh, Riley's on holiday there. Oh, and Megan's on holiday there. I wonder, you know. So do you get fed up with that? Do you see it just as a game, or does it bother you or not?
Well, it's not my favorite thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I totally get it. And I remember when me and Ella first cut You Like You Love Me, I remember telling her, like, you know, there's going to be a lot of speculation about, you know, when you have a love song like that, and then Don't Mind If I Do is even more of an intimate, like, you know, sitting on stools, kind of singing to each other. And I get that, man. Fans they want to believe that everything's true that you sing about, and they want that Johnny Cash and June Carter or Tim and Faith thing, and it doesn't happen often. So, you know, I don't want to spoil anybody's dreams when it comes to that, but at the same time, I'm not used to everything that I do being that interesting to people, you know?
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, I shaved my mustache a few months ago, and that was national news.
I remember.
I had no idea.
Yeah, you know what? That was a huge thing all
It really
of a sudden.
was, yeah.
And you must like scratch your head sometimes and go, huh? Is there not something else? You know.
Yeah, I literally can get on the internet and find out who I'm dating anytime I want. They'll tell me.
That is so good.
And also, I'd like to add, I've had 2 shows in London so far on this tour. Got another one tonight. I've seen roughly 6 to 12 fake mustaches in the crowd every night. That's the thing. I mean, I'll see a few in the States at shows, but like, this is like a real thing. There was one on the guardrail when I got there yesterday for sound check from the night before. It was stuck on there.
It's becoming a thing now, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. Well, you're making your mark, that's for sure. Literally. I've got to listen, thanks for your time. It's always good to see you. I've got to ask you, though, a question away from everything, like away from the songs and the touring and everything like that, and the speculation about your life. Yeah. What makes you happy? You know, in your time, when you're on your own or with your pals, what makes you happy?
Well, I've always enjoyed the little small town I grew up in. I've still got a farm there in Jacksonville, Alabama, and my whole family grew up in that little community. So when I get to go home, I always say that's like a vacation for me, is going to the farm, and life just moves a lot slower down there. You know, I'm constantly on the road thinking about what little project I'm going to work on, or, you know, where I'm going to take the bulldoze over here and clear this spot off. And I think that's what keeps me sane, is having that consistency there, because the rest of my life is so all over the place, you know.
That's a great answer, and it makes total sense as well, because obviously, you know, away from the whirlwind, you can just, you know, be yourself.
Well, I always say what I do for a living is not really reality. You know, people chanting your name and wearing fake mustaches when you walk on stage, that's not real life, you know. So it's nice for me to have that reminder when I go home to, you know, this is what life's really about. And like I said, I think that's where I get most of my inspiration for my songs, is from that place.
Well, do you know, I wish I'd have known that story about the fake mustache before you came in, because we'd have all had them.
You all had them on? Yeah, I stopped bringing them around with me.
Next time, okay?
Yeah, definitely.
Next time you're here. Listen, Riley, absolute pleasure. And I'm delighted it's all gone so well for you.
Well, I appreciate y'all, man. Always good talking to you.